actually follow her father's footsteps, entering the medical field. Not only she's a medical doctor, she's also the first Hmong female surgeon in Australia. She will share with us her meaning of dreaming big. Please put your hands together for Selena Saykao Thao. Selena Saykao Thao.
Hello everyone. Right, I'm Selena, as you might know. I of course was working and I missed all of the planning meetings, so this is what my siblings told me I was talking about. Now, Austin's already stolen my punchline. I'm just going to start with a simple question. What is your dream? Some want to own this car. Pretty amazing car. Some people want to live in a big house like this. Others want to lead a big corporation. Some people want to have lots and lots of babies and raise a big happy family. Look, it doesn't really matter what your dream is. But the thing is, you've got to have a big one. My dream is to travel. I read this quote when I was a lot younger. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. So I wanted to see the world, go meet lots of people, different cultures, eat their food, and see what the world had to offer me. But, there's always a but, my path has not been without obstacles. For example, this is what I got when I was 13 years old. What are you talking about? You will never leave home until you get married. Now that, unfortunately, was someone who's in this room, one of my family members. And this is something I got when I was 13 years old. You know who you are? There's no point mentioning names, but you know who you are. Initially, I was a bit set back by this. Then I got really angry. And finally I decided, well, stuff it. Looking back, I'm actually quite grateful that I got comments like these. Because in retrospect, they actually motivated me to work faster and harder and to prove to people that actually I can do it. So, I left home. I wasn't married. I went to Tasmania, where I studied medicine, and there with my friends I started climbing mountains for fun. I decided then to take it to the next level. So I went to Nepal and started climbing the Himalayas. I've been to visit old cities around the world, such as this one in India, this one in Cambodia. I've also seen new cities, such as the bustling Delhi, and this beautiful town which is in Taiwan. I've also been to one of the most amazing places in the world. This is the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. This is the home of the Lion King. And believe it or not, all of these places I've been to because of my education. They were work trips or study trips, believe it or not. So this is me. I finished VC in 2001. I then embarked upon a very, very, very long 7 years of study. And in 2009 I graduated with a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, which was what enabled me to start practicing as a doctor. I spent my first 2 years practicing in Tasmania, where I did all of my training, before moving back to Melbourne in 2012, where I currently work at the Alfred as a surgical doctor. I'm now 28 years old. I'm not married. And currently my interests lie in plastic surgery and international public health. So tonight I'd like to share with you how my dreams have actually become a reality, to show you that it is possible if you put in the hard yards. Professionally, I've always wanted to help those that are less fortunate than myself. Some might recognise who this young man is, others might not. So this desire to help others stems from the fact that not too long ago, my family and our families lived in places like this. That is my dad in his strapping topless outfit with a gun by his side. Now in places like this, unfortunately, a simple thing such as childbirth or a bout of diarrhea can actually be a matter of life or death. It's something that we don't really experience anymore here living in the Western world, but unfortunately a lot of people still live in those circumstances. So I'm going to briefly share 2 international aid projects that I've been involved with over the last few years. The first is an organisation called Operation Rainbow, and I was involved with them for 3 years, working in Manila in the Philippines. Second project is called Care for Africa Foundation, which works in the Tarime district of Tanzania. I've been involved for the last 2 years and plan to be quite heavily involved in the future. So Operation Firstly was something I got involved in as a medical student. It's a charity based in WA, and they hold annual surgical missions to the Philippines to perform cleft lip and palate surgeries. A team of volunteer plastic surgeons, nurses, anaesthetists and non-medical volunteers give up 1 to 2 weeks of their time to treat children like this who would otherwise have no chance of getting treatment. We perform free surgery to kids and adults with facial deformities, and every year about 60 operations are performed. This is actually not just cosmetic surgery, this is life-changing surgery, because for children like this, they are social outcasts. And it allows them to become a part of society again. More importantly, it allows them to go to school to obtain an education. This is the next organisation I work with, one that I quite enjoy. These are some beautiful kids from Tanzania. I was fortunate to meet them through the Care for Africa Foundation. So Care for Africa is a Tasmanian-based NGO founded by some of my old colleagues in Launceston. For a month or so every year, a team of doctors, nurses, teachers, builders and other volunteers give up their time to travel to Tanzania to deliver humanitarian aid. This is where we work. Tarime, quite a large district, about the size of Tasmania. This is actually the main strip, and as you can see, life is pretty basic. Most people live day to day. Out in the communities, it's even more basic, and most people actually live in poverty. This is where most of our work is done. So, Care for Africa addresses the 3 most basic human needs, that being healthcare, education and safe drinking water. This is a picture of the water well that Care for Africa installed in 2006 in a community called Surubu. It's 53 metres deep, which basically means that it can pump up water throughout the entire year, including the dry season. We've realised that 3 communities now depend on this water well, and it reaches out to over 5,000 people. My involvement, obviously, has been involved with healthcare, so I first went over in 2011. At that time, we had a small team of about 6 doctors and nurses and teachers who went out in this ambulance to 6 community schools. And what we did there is we set up health clinics, giving the kids who felt unwell to be seen by a doctor. This gave opportunities to many who would not otherwise be able to seek medical attention purely because their families could not afford it. This was probably the busiest day of my working life. The clinic at Sombanyan Soko, and myself and another GP from Perth, we saw over 90 kids in one day. In 2012, I stepped back from the doctoring role and instead led a team of volunteers that numbered 19. This included doctors, nurses and a pharmacist from the Tarini area, and our clinic became more streamlined and more efficient. We managed to reach over 2,000 kids and treat them for intestinal worms, giving them a period of good nutrition and health. This is the Surubu School, about 400 kids, with our team in the background. 2012 was also a very special year because I got to chair this opportunity with my little sister Michaela, who deserves a round of applause because at the tender age of 21, managed to save up her partying money, make her way to Tanzania to volunteer her time and help those that were feeling unwell. So I just wanted to highlight that age isn't a limitation in doing these amazing things. You just have to want to. So let's go back to this. P.S. I am not married. As I said, I think this comment made me feel very angry initially. And it's a bit sad that this is kind of what was drilled into me when I was younger. So I'd like to sort of pose something different. We think too small, like a frog at the bottom of a well. He thinks the sky is only as big as the top of the well. If he surfaced, he would see an entirely different view. To me, this is basically saying you need to think and dream above what you already know. Climb to the top and have a look at what actually is out there rather than sitting in your comfort zone and only seeing that small part of the sky. You need to go beyond the norm and expand your view of the world. So my dream continues in 2013. I've decided to hit the books again and enrolled myself in the Master's degree of Public Health and Tropical Medicine. I'm going to attempt to get onto a very, very competitive surgical training program. I plan to spend a whole 2 months in Tanzania further developing the rural clinic project. And adding to my dream of travelling, I'm going to do the most amazing hike up to the Mount Everest Base Camp, as well as travelling across Russia, Mongolia and China. The dream still gets bigger. At some point, I want to work for Médecins Sans Frontières. It's a group that delivers medical aid to crisis areas such as war-torn areas or areas affected by natural disasters. I want to work for the UN one day, and no needing to explain who they are. Lastly, I thought of the most impossible and outrageous place I could think of and decided I want to work there. So Antarctica, which is quite literally the edge of the world. I truly believe that's only a matter of time for me. I just need a few more skills, and it's only a matter of time I will do these things. So once again, what is your dream? And the next question is, can you make it bigger? Because really you have the opportunity to do amazing things. You're in a position to do so, you're in a country to do so, you're well supported by the people around you. You just have to dream big enough. Challenge you to think outside what you already know. Don't stay in that box that people have moulded you into. Think beyond it and challenge yourself. This one's important. Believe that you can do things that sound outrageous impossible. Because I'm telling you right now, if you don't believe that you can do it, no one else will. And without their help, you won't get there. You need to start believing yourself that you can do it. Last but not least, don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't. If they do, you can stand up here 10 years later and tell that person, I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Selena Saykao Thao. Let's give Selena another round of applause. Thank you. That's fantastic. Inspiration. Now, please welcome